more to this minute than I thought I did. I guess it's
There's a lot of dialogue and a kind of a fair number of dialogue shots and stuff, and I don't know.
It's a talkie minute.
Talkie minute.
How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of
Ghost of Frankenstein.
My son, would you destroy that which I, your father, dedicated his life to creating? What if it had another brain?
Whose brain?
Your brain.
Power! What good is a brain without eyes to see?
I warned you that you might regret this action.
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned. Welcome
Boy.
back. Oh, you're not ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I didn't know I was ready.
Try that again.
Okay.
You've been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that dissects the Universal Frankenstein film series minute by minute. I'm not sure I was ready. I'm Tom Lang.
And I'm Bill Evenson, and I'm ready.
All right, raring to go?
I'm raring to go.
I can tell you're raring.
And you're joining us for minute 60. 60. The big 60. The big 60. Oh, you're adjusting something.
No, it's fine.
It's a nightmare. I'm blasting out the thing again.
It'll be fine.
You join us for minute 60.
Well, not so much anymore.
You join us for minute 60 of The Ghost of Frankenstein, Universal's all-new thrills film from 1942. Words ordered, not in the. But if you're joining us on Thursday, if you're a Patreon, you join us on Thursday, July 11th. And thank you for doing that. But if you join us on Friday, July 12th, we're celebrating the birth of Todd Browning.
Oh.
Todd Browning was born on this day in 1880.
Okay.
Which makes him 164 by my quick... That ain't right either, is it? 144?
No,
simple math to me is just impossible.
40, yeah. 40.
You know what Jackie will do? She'll go like... Those blueberries from Aldi, they were $6, and be like, I don't.
Okay,
what does that mean?
Is
that good? Or is that bad? I don't understand numbers at all.
Yeah.
So Todd, what's your favorite Todd Browning film, Tom?
The Unknown. That would be my favorite.
Oh, The Unknown.
Yeah, it's Lon Chaney. He's posing as the armless knife thrower.
Well, now that you've gotten to look it up.
What is yours?
Well, I was going to say Dracula. Did he make that one?
He did.
I'll take that one. Oh, here we go. Todd Browning. It finally loaded. His best films, I would say, for my money, his best films are Dracula. I thought I'd see a list here, but I don't. I mean, obviously, he made Freaks, which a lot of people love. I think it's fine.
The ending is, the climax is very well done.
People say London After Midnight was good, but
do they though? Because nobody has seen it in the last 300 years. So
no, I mean, I don't know if people say it anymore. That's true, since no one's alive that's seen it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think people thought it was good.
Well, there is somebody, speaking of the Universal
and
horrors,
he did make the remake, which is called Mark of the Vampire. He played Mark.
He did. Didn't I already do that one?
Probably. Sounds like
there is somebody in the Universal Horrors documentary that you referred to who I believe mentions London After Midnight, and that if people saw it now would probably be a little disappointed.
Oh, that's right.
The stills and everything make it look better than it is. Something to that effect.
I could see that. I mean, that's kind of the thing with some of those makeups or whatever, where you're like, wow, look at this. But then sometimes it does work. Like Caligari, a still from Caligari looks great. Yeah. And the film's also great.
Right.
So it works.
Yeah.
You never know. You fucking never know.
You never.
You ever seen The Ghost of Frankenstein? Some of the shots in that are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like there's a shot of Ralph Bellamy's stand-in on a horse. It looks like Todd Browning shot it.
Oh, you mean there's like equipment in the shot that shouldn't be?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It moves very, very slowly.
Yeah, it does that. Also on July 12th, of course, we honor the spirit of Creighton Lon Chaney Jr. When he died on July 12th, 1973. Where were you when you heard that Creighton Chaney had passed?
Probably in my living room.
What?
I think I might have that obit from the Star Tribune or Tribune or whatever one.
Yeah,
there was a time when we had two papers, one in the morning, one in... There was just that much news.
Yeah.
There was twice as much news in the 70s as there is today. Whatever one of those I had it
Yeah.
from.
I delivered one of them.
Did you?
I was a paper boy when they merged.
Oh, okay.
So I remember when it was. Do you remember briefly for like less than a year? It was called the Minneapolis Star and Tribune.
Yeah.
And then they just went. That's
Yeah,
dumb.
that's
They
dumb.
changed it to Star Tribune.
Yeah.
If you are so late listening to this that it's Wednesday, July 17th, don't forget to send special birthday wishes to Marilyn Harris on her 100th birthday.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Congratulations on your long life that probably ended 40 years ago.
Yeah.
When did she
Yeah, that's
Maybe she died
right.
at 10. I don't know.
No, she wasn't. She lived to be an adult because there are pictures of her with Forey Ackerman, probably showing her his porn collection.
God. That's a good point. Yuck. Well, then let's lighten the mood. Tomorrow is Monster Bash.
Okay.
Not tomorrow. Tomorrow from her birthday, which is a week from now. So in about a week is Monster Bash. I have it on my calendar. I guess I thought maybe,
We thought about.
sounds like probably we're not going to go to that. So you can go to that. We can't stop you.
Nothing we can do about it.
And that's it. Minute 60.
Minute 60. We've reached.
This is the moment you've been waiting for.
Reached the moment where.
Well, you've been waiting a week to hear the end of Bellamy's belligerent, boisterous bellow.
He told the crowd that he'll go talk.
If he refuses,
he'll go talk to Dr. Frankenstein to give up the monster. If he refuses, ... Yep. If he refuses, well, you can take any action you want to.
Yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Laws don't apply here.
You
in
can
this
start.
area.
All of a sudden, it's just this angry mob breaks into an orgy. Just all fucking and sucking, and it's all a bunch of guys.
It's like the end of society.
Is that what happened?
Movie.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, there was this weird orgy scene, but they all turned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess
turned
it
into
does
these
do
sort
that.
of Cronenbergian horror things. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking you were going to say Caligula.
Well,
That'd be awesome if it became that.
Well,
Did you see there's a
at least
big
be better than that.
thing? It's probably already happened by now in July. But Caligula, they managed to reconstruct the director's original intent. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because the story, as I understand it, of Caligula is the reason it's got Malcolm McDowell in it is because it's a movie. It's a real movie.
It was going to be a real movie, yeah. And like Peter O'Toole is in it. And
Okay.
I think John Gielgud or something. It's a pretty illustrious cast.
Yeah.
And a legitimate movie made by a legitimate filmmaker. Trouble was, it was financed by the guy who owned Penthouse.
Yeah.
So after the actors left for the day, they shot all these hardcore scenes that are like the least sexy sex scenes this side of Bat Pussy. And
not as familiar with Bat Pussy as you might think.
it's this notorious film that has like no credits, so nobody knows who any of these people are, who made it, when it was made. They have some guesses.
Okay.
The least attractive couple you could find. He is as limp as a piece of spaghetti throughout. They're trying to have sex, and they just keep insulting each other. And it goes on and on.
I now know what we need to do. We're done after Ghost.
Bat Pussy Minute.
No, it's just going to be you talking about every porn movie. There's infinite numbers of them, and I'll just interview you.
Well, this means
I won't have an opinion. I'll be like, I finished after 10 seconds.
This means I have to watch. I've seen not too many, but yeah, my share.
Apparently.
Have you not seen Caligula?
I haven't even seen Caligula, no.
Okay. Because the scenes that are...
People say that generally, that it's bad. But it's funny because when it came out, you obviously didn't know that level of detail.
No.
So it just seemed really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like Malcolm McDowell was in a porno.
I always thought that was the weirdest thing.
Yeah. But then on some level...
Maybe not Malcolm McDowell so much, because he's a weird, fucked up guy.
He's a weird,
anyway.
fucked up guy. Yeah, he's in Clockwork Orange, which is weird.
But, John Gielgud or whoever it is, like, what the fuck are you doing in this piece of shit?
But then there's also like Midnight Cowboy is rated X. They came up with that other NC-17 to supposedly show that people can make artistic films that are also
have an adult content.
Have adult content, and so you could see there's a level to it where you kind of think, okay, this was a failed attempt. Because Caligula, when you think about what happens in that, it kind of makes sense. That's probably what was happening, right? It's that he's got that reputation.
Yeah. I mean,
although I believe some of that's overblown, but he was a terrible
person,
Caesar or whatever. Was he a Caesar? What was he? Ruler?
Emperor. Yeah.
Emperor. There you go. He was a terrible emperor by all accounts.
Yeah, by all accounts.
And presumably, shit like this went down then, So you kind kind of think, is that the point they were trying to make? But then I never bothered to see it, and if you watched it, you could kind of tell it.
No, that's not the point.
Doesn't blend together.
No, it's pretty obvious where one ends and the other begins. Although the film itself, there are certain sets and things that look like it's left over from H.R. Pufnstuf. So,
which would be another great place to film a porno.
Well, you say the same about
Land of the Lost.
Flesh Gordon. It looks that way as well.
Okay, I don't know that one either.
I'm
way behind in my porn parodies.
You are.
Have you ever seen the one where the guy where it's Batman 66, but porn, and the guy who plays the Joker also has a mustache that he's even though
that level of detail.
That level of detail. Yeah.
No, I have not seen that. Now I kind of want to.
Yeah, you probably should.
How did this descend into a?
Well, I was saying, I don't remember, but I was saying apparently they've found that they're pretty proud of themselves that they've reconstructed the original Caligula without the porn scenes.
Well,
and it's going to come out this summer sometime.
That might be.
I have no idea why we were talking about that.
Might be better to watch that. Anyway,
what was on the calendar? Was there something on that? No, that wasn't it.
I was going to Monster Fest or whatever was happening. No,
yeah, I don't think it was that. Could have been that.
All right,
Monster Bash.
Was it a graveyard smash? That's
my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I wasn't there, so I couldn't say.
Okay. You can take any action you want. Is what?
Oh no! And then
what prompted it.
And then of course, then naturally it would descend. It was actually about the minute.
Yeah.
We didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Like, wow, we're actually talking about the minute that time.
And that seems to satisfy the angry mob. There's no subtitle for it, but Frohn says, yeah, all right, we'll wait.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Because somebody says, does that sound fair to you, men? Is that Hussman that says
No, I think it's Frohn. So, does that sound fair to you, men? There's some murmurs of assent, and he's okay, well then, we'll wait. All right.
But the thing is, no one says, again, this is a problem with angry mobs. It seems like a great idea, angry mob. That seems like the ideal way to get things done, right? Because, those fat cats in Washington, whatever. Yeah. But then maybe think it through a little bit. He hasn't done anything to address the conflict of interest, right? He's making it worse. He's saying, well, tell you what, I know you don't trust me because I'm in bed with these people, but let me go in there. Well, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I'll go in
by yourself?
I'll go in and talk to him.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then if you don't get the result you want from that, knock yourselves out.
Yeah, then
literally.
Then you can come in this special door and we'll turn on the gas, probably.
Yeah.
Actually, that would have worked.
That would have.
They probably could have got them all.
Should have done that.
And then 2 weeks later, it'd be like, where is everybody?
Where is the town?
They're all stuck in Frankenstein's after 2 weeks. Oh, Jesus.
They're watching Caligula.
Is it worse when we take a break? Is it harder to get back on?
I think it is.
Right. So yes, it's still a blatant conflict of interest. I don't know why they agreed to it. But you know what it is? This is one of those bargains where you're like, well, tell you what, I can see that you think you're not getting a fair shake. But tell you what, you could have this. And then you never actually get that thing.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like to me. He's not, you can do whatever you want.
He's not.
When someone says something like that, you're like, well, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. That sounds a little too good to be true. But they don't think that, so fuck them.
They think, that
fuck those ignorant hicks. Those ignorant German hicks.
Sounds like
with their fucking Hitler mustache.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, why not?
Eric knocks on the door. Is it?
Well, wait a minute. My favorite part of the minute.
When
a guy on a horse pulls up. He's wearing the same clothes as Bellamy, but he's shrouded in shadow, which is good because it is night and we love shadows. This is why we watch these movies. He gets off and he puts the reins of the horse on a tree.
Tethers his horse to a tree.
And then he's bow-legged. He's super bow-legged, and he kind of almost hobbles up to the door. He hops up to the door. It doesn't look anything like Bellamy.
No,
and then you hear a knock.
We'll see him later on in this minute. Ramrod straight.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's nobody's got a better posture than Ralph Bellamy until he put him on a horse, and then he becomes. And granted, if you've ever ridden a horse, I kind of get the whole bow-legged thing because
that's what
it's
happens.
a weird thing to do is sit like that for hours.
That's why you see cowboys with
yeah. And then the knock comes on the door, and it sounds like this. Like it sounds like a clicking almost. Yeah. It doesn't sound like a knock.
Well, I think it's a knocker, like metal,
they have a knocker?
Metal on metal. I don't know. I think that's what the sound is.
I guess you're probably right.
So he's admitted by Martha.
Actually, I forgot I was going to mention what he actually looked like was, do you remember Army of Darkness, the director's commentary? With Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. And Bruce Campbell says, look at this guy. There's a long shot that he's not in of that character. And he goes, he looks like he's got a load in his pants. And Sam Raimi goes, yeah, you're right. There's no way that would be you. You look like you have a stick up your ass. That's what we see here.
Yes.
This guy's more load in the pants.
and Bellamy's more stick up his ass.
Yeah, that's really true. Yeah, good.
Solved that problem. Elsa's descending the stairs, as Eric says. I'd like to see Dr. Frankenstein.
I gotta say, Elsa, as so often, looks lovely.
Oh, she does.
But her what she's wearing is looks like something that like you'd see on like a jewelry box or some sort of item that would have like basically she looks like I want to fondle her just because I want to fondle her dress. It's like, oh, that's lovely little, you got little sequins and a little kind of fun stuff on there. And the first thing Bellamy does is walk up and put his hands on her because he wants to touch that dress. It's not just me. Okay. He doesn't like grab her tits or anything. He puts his hands on her
shoulders,
arms below the shoulders. Yeah. What's this part called? Her biceps.
Okay.
Yep. That's what I noticed when we were rewatching it. How pretty that dress is.
Doctor isn't seeing anyone. Well, you can thank Vera West for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Vera West again. Yeah. Doctor isn't seeing anyone.
Well, he'll see me.
She says he isn't seeing anyone, and he's, well, I didn't say I wanted to marry him. Sorry.
He'll see me, by God.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yep, and then
because he comes off polite. The first line is, well, I'd like to see Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
No. Well, he'll have to see me. So he granted, he's under some kind of time constraint.
Well, he is, because he's got an angry mob.
He's got an angry mob, torch-wielding mob that he's...
He promised they could do whatever they want to. So.
They're getting ready to, quote, do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
What are those people?
Yeah, those people.
Doing at the gates.
That's right. Which is kind of weird because I guess that's why she came down. She must have heard something.
I heard the clamor outside.
Yeah.
And someone knocking at the door.
Yeah, true. But she's all dressed up and ready to go,
all ready to go out on a night.
I guess she always looks like that. And she has never left the house.
No.
Not in her entire life.
No, she never leaves these sets. She
does, actually, strangely enough. But it doesn't look right.
Very briefly. But
it looks really weird.
We'll get
we'll get there.
Yeah.
That's the character arc. She finally leaves the house.
Yeah. Well, kind of has to, but we'll get to that.
Not by choice.
We'll get to that as well. They're demanding to see your father.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What do they want with him? 2 weeks.
Well, it's worse than that because it's worse than that because yes, 2 weeks, absolutely. All that does is make it worse.
Yeah.
The situation, I'd forgotten about the 2 weeks or hadn't noticed or thought about it. Yeah. Without the 2 weeks, it's still just as bad.
Yeah.
Like she's been complicit in this for a period of time. Now learning there's an additional 2 weeks just makes it a little worse.
She knows exactly what's going on because he says to her, they think he knows something about the disappearance of the monster and the Husman child.
Well, first...
And she just stares back at him like she has no idea what he's talking about.
Again, even that's worse than it sounds because the way she says it, the way she delivers a line is, she's really passionate. She's acting her heart out here. She says, why? What do they want with him? And to the point that I was like, why aren't they demanding to see me? What am I, chopped liver? Because she goes all out on it. Like, what? You what?
And maybe it's...
I mean, maybe it's she's passionate about it because she knows why.
Yeah.
I guess that's all I can say.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's a way of backpedaling it a a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Please send them away, because my father is
guilty as fuck.
Guilty of a series of crimes.
And I'm an accomplice at this point now.
I mean, she really is.
Yeah.
She
absolutely
helped to kidnap the girl.
Pretty much. She locked her in a room where I presume she still is to this day.
Oh, hey. Is now the time? This would be a great time to do this.
Okay, if you say
we got it.
What page are we on?
We are on page 105, which in your script book is 105.
For those of you following along at home, if you have the... Oh, and look, I happen to have a bookmark right there.
On 105. There's a lot of good stuff in here. It's a good book, but... I've just noticed something that we didn't talk about is on 104, he refers to Bomer as Kurt.
Yeah.
And I think it's 103, he calls him the other name, Theodore. Yeah, somewhere in there he calls him Theodore. But anyways.
Oh, he does when...
But it happens in rapid succession, I thought. Maybe it's 2 or 3 pages ago. But he had just called him Theodore. But hey, some people go by their first or middle name.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. He must be one of them. Kurt Theodore Bomer. Okay, so the conversation is between Frankenstein and Frankenstein. Have I got this right? Oh, okay.
Are you sure this is what we...
Yeah, it's Frankenstein and Elsa. And I think we can quickly get through 105, and then the meat of it is on 106 and 107. Does that work? Now, who should be who? So I usually do Igor.
You want me to read Elsa as Igor?
I probably do,
okay.
Yeah. But now that suddenly puts a lot of pressure on me because I get the first like 3 or 4 lines here. So I'll try and do my best Ludwig, which I think I can do, but when I'm called on to do it, I usually can't.
All right.
Okay.
Should
you want to do the setup? Interior? You want to do the setup?
Yeah, scene 402, interior, Elsa's bedroom, full shot, day. As Frankenstein enters, Elsa turns around, her body tense in expectation. Yeah, see, the copy is sometimes bad where like parts of the letters are missing.
Yeah.
Frankenstein comes over to her. The camera moves into a close 2-shot.
I'm sorry, dear, but you were a little hysterical last night.
He appears to be perfectly sane and speaks sincerely. Elsa looks bewildered, almost as if she believes herself to be the victim of a nightmare.
You see, I couldn't risk being disturbed, and for a moment I was forced to doubt your loyalty.
Elsa stares at him in speechless amazement. Her silence seems to annoy Frankenstein.
A little sharply, you intend to be discreet, don't you, my dear?
There is a little threat in his voice and a little betrayal that he is far from rational on his face now. What?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, an expression of horror.
You got all the words right. It just doesn't work. It doesn't read well.
An expression of horror comes to Elsa. Discreet!
The payoff.
After what you did last night?
Man, without context, this sounds pretty ugly.
It does.
Yeah, even with context. What I did last night was to make a contribution to science that will change the destiny of the human race. Think of it, dear. There may be no more death.
He is so sincere and sounds so plausible that the horror goes from Elsa's face.
Drips off her face.
It says it goes, but the
it's
horizontal line is missing from the E.
Yeah, we got to clean this up.
And she looks only
edition.
Puzzled and worried. You told me that you had destroyed that creature. I condemned your concealing Kettering's death only on that... I condoned, yeah.
Yeah, but that was blurry too, so it took me a second. I'm sorry. Condoned your... What?
I condoned your concealing Kettering's death only on that condition. 403, close-up of Frankenstein, as he looks at her proudly.
Kettering is not dead, and the monster is. Kettering's brain lives again in the body of the thing my father created.
Close 2-shot. Elsa is listening, her face a picture of amazement and horror.
I have removed the evil, and replaced it with goodness, with intelligence.
She looks at him in silence.
Do we need that in a script?
I guess
she looks at him in silence.
I guess not.
Do you think they can criticize Frankenstein when I offer mankind the priceless gift of immortality?
To Elsa, her father is insane. The quick turnaround there. She recoils from him, then drawing on her courage, she faces him boldly. Father! I'm going to leave this house. I am going to Eric, and I am going to take this child with me. Frankenstein looks at her sadly, but his voice is filled with determination of an idea fixed.
When the time comes, you may do as you wish about that, my dear, but you are not allowed to leave the house until this experiment is completed.
Bitterly. And what about the child?
Her disappearance must remain a mystery until I am ready to face public opinion.
He crosses to the door, holds it open for her.
Kindly, but firmly. Take the child up to your room. You both need sleep.
She turns and picks up the child in her arms and exits past him as he holds the door open into corridor.
Okay, there's something missing there. Maybe we do one more. Frankenstein standing by the... Just do that part.
Do that last.
Okay, Frankenstein standing by the open door as Elsa passes through. Oh, with the child still in her arms. Yeah. That's the odd thing. She starts out of the scene and Frankenstein says, "Remember, dear, to be discreet." I think that's okay. And scene. I think that gives a hell of a lot of context that's completely missing from all of
From
this.
the film, yeah.
She's
yeah.
actually actively trying to spirit away the Cloestein girl. The
Hussman girl.
The little Hussman girl.
So now she's even more of an accomplice than the film bears out, which could be why it was cut.
Well, that doesn't make her more of an accomplice. She's fucked all the way. She's all the way on board with all of this.
Right, but now she's actively participated.
Oh, right.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. In the script or in the movie or both? I mean, all of it.
Well, all of it's bad.
Yeah.
But in the script more so.
Because she
physically
decided not to save her.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm game.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm on board.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Well, that doesn't happen. So
No.
back to the minute.
Oh, Eric, what can we do?
We? So you better get a lawyer. Maybe your rich daddy can help you.
Yeah.
Who fuck you calling we?
Yep. I've got to see him before they do, or I can't be responsible for the consequences.
I absolutely love the delivery of this line.
And he pretty
does
much
two things at the same time. It does. He literally walks off camera, and his voice gets quieter as he's walking away, and he just abandons her mid-sentence.
Yeah.
He almost forgets she exists mid-sentence. I've got to see him before they do. He lets go, or I can't be responsible for the. He just fucking like, fuck her, man. I'm out of here. Which is cool because he's got shit to do. We got an angry mob. TikTok
just burning out there. Yeah.
Frone is out there. You done yet?
We want to do whatever we want.
Some of us have started doing whatever we want.
Just so you know.
I told him no, but TikTok.
Yeah, well, he pretty much ensured that he won't be responsible for the consequences by telling him that you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Absolved himself of any culpability there.
Well, and yet the opposite, because he is the one that said you can do whatever you want, and he's the law man, so he's the only one that's. Yeah. I mean, that's what the law is for, to tell you what not to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't need laws.
Right. Yeah, he crosses to Ludwig.
There was a line. It's like he's right there.
Yeah, there was a line that was cut. Ludwig says, "Nice jacket. My brother had one just like it."
I'm sorry. What sucks about that is that I bit so hard on it because I thought, oh, did they cut a line? Because I don't know.
Perfect.
Nope.
What do you want?
My brother has one just like it. Hey, does he say, what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
No, it's just calm.
It's like Haley Joel Osment in that Phantom Menace reading on the George Lucas Talk Show stream on YouTube.
Which we talked about before we recorded.
So but I'll just throwing it out there. That's enough words for people to Google it. Watch the George Lucas Talk Show Phantom Menace reading with Haley Joel Osment. Then what happens?
I don't even know. What do you want? What are those people doing at the gates? Oh, wait. I'm on the wrong card.
Are you on the wrong minute?
Yeah, no.
You're on the wrong movie?
No, I just...
You're not doing Caligula minute 50 or 60 or whatever.
I am. The villagers are getting out of hand, Doctor. If you expect the protection of my office, you'll have to be frank with me.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein with me.
That's what Ludwig's supposed to say.
Yeah. Well,
you mean Frankenstein or Frank Frankenstein? Because I could be Frank Frankenstein as well. Whatever it'll take.
Whatever it take to get me out of this.
As long as those people don't get to do whatever they want. We're going to get in trouble for laughing on this one. I can tell you right now. I'm going to complain right now. I am now officially registering a complaint.
Okay. I'll send it to the complaint department.
Excellent. Is that me?
You want to complain? I want to complain. I've been in this office all day.
There you go.
These shoes, the heels of one.
Didn't take long.
There you go.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, it is. I can't help myself. There are certain matters which must be clarified.
Is that one longer on the record than it is on the the show?
Yeah.
Because it just goes from room. Well, no, they both go to room to room.
Yeah, but on the record, I think it's a little more.
Just longer.
It's just longer. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, that's all I have to say about it. Okay. No, there are certain matters which must be clarified.
That's it.
Eric says that, and then Frank says, "What are you talking about? What you talking about, Eric?"
What you talking about, Eric? Yep. I got nothing for either of these lines.
He's okay.
It's a cool moment, I think, when he says there are certain matters that have to be clarified because we've had all this build-up, and then he says,
"The case of Dr. Kettering
the 4 pips." It's like he's making it
the extraordinary case.
The extraordinary case. Dr. Kettering, who fell down and died.
The strange case of Dr. Kettering and Mr. Igor.
But what's great about that line to me is great because it's a surprise, especially in real time. When we're watching it minute by minute, it's hard to maybe remember this.
Yeah.
But there's this buildup of, my daughter's missing. Where's that monster? Who's holding the monster? Who's harboring the monster? And it just rolls right up to the front door of his house. Where is my daughter and where's this monster? Where's my daughter? Where's this monster? And then he says there's matters that need to be clarified. Oh yeah, what's that? The case of Dr. Kettering. And you kind of go, when you're watching it in real time, at least when I do, I'm like, oh yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
We can talk all day about maybe you're harboring a monster. You've already searched the place.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got this guy's daughter. Well, she wasn't there yet when he searched the place. That's where they were, I guess, if I remember right.
Yes.
And then he turns it around and says, the case of Dr. Kettering, and I'm surprised by this.
I think so is Ludwig.
I agree. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he did not return home. He wasn't even expected there.
He wasn't even from there.
He didn't even have a home.
They said they'd never heard of him. Just who is this so-called Kettering anyway?
He did not leave this area by train as you intimated.
Yeah, he starts to say intimated.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
That's it.
That's it for the podcast.
Yep. Thank God.
He did not leave by train. We already knew that, though.
Yeah.
That's rehashing
old news.
shit. Everybody knows he wasn't on the morning train. For Christ's sake.
Yep. Any more questions, wise ass?
That sound can only mean one thing. It's time for Got Any Wise Ass Comments, Wise Asses, brought to you by patreon.com/Frankenstein Minute. Join at the wise ass level and make comments, and we promise that we will read them on the podcast. But for some reason I got hung up on that a month ago, and I insisted that people don't say things that are offensive that will get us kicked off of YouTube. Yeah. But at this point I think it's fair. They've forgotten about us by now.
Yeah. Start all over again.
Isn't there a reset on this? This 3 strikes you're outlaw is not cool.
No.
And so, tasked with that remit, Mike Herman writes, Frankenmaga.
I got deja vu.
I know, well, I read this last week by mistake. Did you cut that out?
Maybe.
We'll see. Honestly, I can root for Bomer and Igor to take over the world if this is the alternative. Yeah, they're not cool. The only thing I would say is Hussman is clever and correct. So I'll give him, he doesn't say, give us his head, which I guess Frone doesn't actually say, give us his head, but
he's kind of got that attitude.
He's got that attitude. We want this guy. We know, you're not, whatever. Yeah. I don't think Hussman's belligerent, at least.
No, he's not.
I don't know. I guess he is a little belligerent. The definition of belligerent, I don't know. I mean, he's inciting a riot.
Well,
he's just doing it calmly and politely.
But he's not wrong, right? I mean, his daughter's missing.
Yeah, he's actually kind of calm about it for the circumstances.
Yeah. Well, it's been 2 weeks. He's had time to think about it.
Yeah.
He's calmed down.
That's true. They've had a funeral, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. Who knows?
Did they ever determine what caused the fire? Because, like you said, he says, my house was burned down, not my house burned down.
Yeah.
He believes there's something suspicious about it.
They weren't very good at investigating this kind of shit back in Germany in the 30s and 40s. Yeah. Remember the Reichstag fire?
Oh, yeah.
They never found out who did that. It was very convenient for Hitler because he was basically president within a day, I think, of that fire. Yeah, and they, I think by now, do know who did it. But it wouldn't matter.
No.
Anyway, that's
not
one of
those. Change anything.
It's one of those historical events.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How do you investigate a fire? I don't know how to do it today either, though. I guess I assume...
Well, people do,
There's an assumption... You got me there. There's an assumption that 82 years later, we're probably better at investigating fires than we were
I think we're
then.
considerably better, yeah.
Especially since the guys doing the investigating would presumably be one of these guys.
Yeah.
It would be someone from this mob or Klondike, Keystone Cop.
Klondike
Cops.
That's
the knockoff.
Yeah, it was the Canadian knockoff.
Canadian knockoff. Perfect.
I don't know. That's all I'm going to be able to think.
What was that guy? Who was the guy that you're in his Facebook group? Appreciation?
The Sammy Petrillo.
Sammy Petrillo, was he one of the Klondike cops?
It's a little before his time.
A little before his time. Ruben writes, This is getting out of hand if I have to be frank about it. Next thing you know, someone will be putting their feet up in Pelosi's office.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's true. That's what's going on.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
We got two MAGA comments.
Yep.
I think that could be it. Maybe we're done. We might be done for the day.
What?
We might be all done. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to work this thing. Oh, I know.
One of these new
Tom Lang writes, disinterested face.
What was that for?
It was a comment about my saying that a Mummy prequel is reportedly in the works.
Yeah.
But if you click through, which I don't recommend.
Oh, I did read it.
They're not sure if it's a prequel to this mummy, that mummy, or the other mummy. There's like so many mummies.
So many mummies just all over the place. Yeah, I highly doubt it's a prequel to 1932.
Yeah, that'd be a weird thing because that movie has its own.
It has its own prequel built in.
Yeah.
It could be a prequel to the Stephen Sommers one, which. Fine, I can just ignore that.
So Stephen Sommers made just The Mummy, the one that had the Scorpion King.
I think he made all three of those, and then he did Van Helsing, and pretty much sunk his career.
So then he did Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. I guess in my mind, Van Helsing was before those,
no.
But they were all things I wasn't interested in. I've never had any interest in watching any of them, and that's stupid. I should watch them.
I think I have them.
Like, is the first Mummy any good? They made it must have been good enough to warrant a sequel.
3-4 more of them, yeah.
Having said that, though, I've always thought, why wouldn't I watch the Fast and Furious movies? I like dumb movies with fast cars and driving off cliffs and shit, but I can't get through them. I can't get through the first 10 minutes.
I couldn't be more disinterested if I was paid, yeah.
Yeah, well, I am completely interested, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, so I assume the Mummy's like that. Like, I'd be, you know what, I'm going to watch the Mummy. This is going to be great. It's got Brendan Fraser in it. Got to be great. And then I'd probably fall asleep after 10 minutes.
When we were on Gilbert's podcast, it came up, and I said, well, if I want to watch a cheap Indiana Jones knockoff, I'll watch Temple of Doom.
I do remember that line.
Because that's what they feel like to me.
Well, I could watch a cheap Indiana Jones knockoff. I liked Romancing the Stone.
They're okay, but I think I've seen the first one. I haven't seen any of the others.
Okay. Are there a lot of others? It's just like a second one. And
I think there's two or three.
Is Scorpion King like part of the story in some way?
I think it's an ancillary thing, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really care.
And what did you think of Van Helsing? Just
awful from frame one. Just
nothing
garbage.
Good?
Absolute garbage. Nothing redeeming about it.
Is the monster green in that?
I don't even know. He's gray or I don't know. But he's got like clockwork things and pipes coming out of his head, and I mean, it's just
the monster.
It's just the actor who plays him is good.
Yeah.
Because he played the monster on Broadway, I believe. And I've seen him in other things, and he's decent. I can't remember his name. But just the concept, the whole movie is just dumb.
Do you remember the show Sherlock?
Yeah.
Do you remember that at the same time that show came out, a show came out in the U.S. called Elementary that also had Sherlock in it?
Yes.
The guy who played Sherlock Holmes in Elementary was from Trainspotting. I believe it's he and Benedict Cumberbatch from Sherlock did a stage.
Yes,
thing.
They would flip-flop each night. Playing Victor and the Monster.
So that would be kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
to see.
there is.
And there's video of both. They've streamed it. They've given it away.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. And I still haven't watched it.
I haven't either.
Sad. Maybe I should watch that. It is Frankenstein after all.
Yeah. No, here it's excellent.
Okay, that'll help too then.
Yeah.
Because I was just talking about contemplating watching a movie that I know is bad. But the other thing that's weird is, why does Van Helsing have Dracula, the Frankenstein monster, and the Wolfman in it? Like, why are those three always tied together? How many movies have just them in it?
And the Mummy is nowhere to be seen.
And the Mummy is a separate thing, yeah. Like, why can't the Mummy be part of this gang?
Well, the Mummy was supposed to be in House of Frankenstein. Yeah, and they just thought, well, it's too much.
No, that makes sense.
It might have helped. I don't know.
I really like.
I do like those.
You like that one.
I do like those because they're dumb and silly and they go by so fast.
When you say it might have helped, I just think it would be more of the same because.
Yeah.
It's like an adventure. Remember when we met Dracula? Yeah. And then we go and meet, they do them one at a time, kind of. I guess they do two at a time then they meet the next two. So you wouldn't, that would be weird.
But there's like two different.
If they're in the ice and then there's like, oh, it's the Frankenstein monster. Oh, look over here, it's the Mummy.
Karis,
And look at that ice is shaped funny. That must be the Invisible Man. Well, who else would be in that?
There's the Mad
Gill
Ghoul.
Man.
There's the Mad. Oh, he didn't.
The
exist
introduction
yet.
of the Gill Man.
Yeah. There's the Mad Ghoul. Oh, and there's the Mad Maned Monster. And oh, there's
What's
Paula
that
the
sound?
Ape Woman.
Is that King Kong? Nope, it's Mighty Joe Young. Same diff.
Same diff.
What's the difference between Mighty Joe Young and
about 15 feet?
Yeah, probably. Oh, and King Kong? Yeah, I was gonna say Son of Kong.
Well, Son of Kong.
Because I always think of that because of that box set: King Kong, Son of Kong, Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah, they're kind of a trifecta.
Yeah.
Because it's Marion C. Cooper and Willis O'Brien. Ernest Schoedsack directed all three.
And is there any connection between Son of Kong and Mighty Joe Young?
No, Mighty Joe Young.
Son of Kong is a direct sequel.
I mean, it picks up almost immediately after.
Yeah,
because it was released the same fucking year.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's impossible to imagine.
Yeah, it's weird that even happened.
You know, it just shows you how quickly it was rushed through. And the animation is done well, but there's not a lot of it. And there's not a lot of the extra creatures and things like there were in Kong. There's a kind of a weird looking dinosaur and then a bear, I think.
A bear. Yeah.
A big old bear.
It just goes to show you, there's no telling what you can accomplish if you, presumably work people beyond any legal hours. Like, how did they pull off all that?
I don't know.
Year? It doesn't
I don't
make any
know.
sense. Because we couldn't do King Kong. Like, if you tried to just, I know that people have said this before, but if you tried to make that movie now, it would take you 5 years.
Years. Well, how long did Peter Jackson take to make his King Kong? Years.
It's me. Doesn't look as good.
I like it.
It looks okay, but I still, if you're gonna make King Kong, I guess I like it. I like all the King Kong.
I like all three.
I was actually gonna throw in a fourth.
The
King Kong Escapes.
Oh shit! Well, I mean,
I do like it.
I do too.
When's the last time you watched that one?
Not too long ago.
Did you know there's a character
Doctor Who
called Doctor Who, and his companion is Susan, that's who he was. He looks exactly like Doctor Who did at that time.
Does he?
Yeah, that's what William Hartnell looked like. He has the same hat.
Oh, really?
He's everything. It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah. And he hangs out with a lady named Susan.
Which came first?
This one came second. Yeah.
King Kong came second?
Yeah. Okay. King Kong Escapes is 60... What's right there? What year is it? It would be after King Kong versus Godzilla, yeah? No, before. No, after.
It's after.
Yeah. It's like 66, I'm guessing.
66, 67, something like that.
What year did the movie King Kong Escapes come out?
In the United States of America, King Kong Escapes came out on June 19th, 1968.
Okay.
Why do you say it like that?
Because it's a Japanese film. It came out sooner.
What year did the movie King Kong Escapes come out in Japan?
In the United States of America, King Kong Escapes was released on June 19th, 1968.
There's something about belligerent nationalism and patriotism that sometimes has an appeal to it. Yeah. She's like, in the United States.
Listen, bud.
Look, on Earth, Japan.
Ben has my Blu-ray. It might have more information on it. Anyway, 68, 67, 68.
I even like Skull Island, starring
John Goodman
and Samuel L. Jackson.
John C. Reilly is actually very good in that.
Yeah. Did you see either the King Kong versus Godzillas?
I saw the first one.
Godzilla versus Kong, I guess they're called.
Yeah, I haven't seen this new one.
I did. I didn't like it. I don't like much of the legendary movies, but I also kind of do like them. Like, I think the first one got shit on unnecessarily.
Yeah, I do too.
So they're all fine. But this last one, I was surprised. Godzilla's barely in it. They should have changed the billing. It should have been Kong versus Godzilla, because there's just tons of monkeys.
Don't they kind of team up as well at some point? And what I heard or read or whatever is that the director is a big fan of the Showa era Godzilla, and this is sort of his tribute to that.
They should put Godzilla in it then, you would think. You would think he'd be in it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless he likes Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, which was a King Kong script that they turned into a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, boy, and it sure looks it too when you watch it.
I don't know. I don't know that I can judge Godzilla movies by normal standards. Somebody posted on...
no.
Well, now we have a new one, right? So we have Godzilla -1, and everybody's lost their shit for it, which is great, because it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
But, like, I see people post about it online and on Facebook groups I'm in or whatever, and somebody posted, this isn't just a great Godzilla movie. It's the best movie I've seen, in years, full stop. I've never cared about the characters in a Godzilla movie before. I'm like, you never cared about any of those characters in any of those Godzilla. You haven't fucking watched them, you piece of shit, you fucking liar.
38 Godzilla movies, you never cared about one
Anybody.
person.
Nobody made an impact.
I guess.
In the first original Godzilla, nothing.
none of those characters,
the guy with the eye patch, fucking all that stuff. It's a great human drama in that first film.
There is. The first film is an excellent film, yeah.
Like, if you turn it on in a scene that doesn't have Godzilla in it, you could be forgiven for thinking you're watching a Kurosawa film, and of course, great reasons for that.
Yeah, a lot of
Since next door they were making a Kurosawa film, and the director was working on it.
You'd be forgiven for,
Honda was
he was
helping make Kurosawa films at the time. Yeah. Anyways.
All right.
Good enough.
Are we good?
We're good. Thanks again to Jacob Walsh for our excellent theme song.
Yes.
In the United States of America, King Kong Escapes came out on June 19, 1968.